Hey guys, what's up? Curtis here from Swindle Creative. Today we're going to be creating this awesome recoil effect. I'll show you just what I mean when I say it's awesome right now. So it's completely code-based, completely procedural. You'll see if I click right now, it looks pretty standard. The cool thing about it, in my opinion, is that the faster you click, the more recoil is applied. And it's actually a really simple piece of code. So there it is, hipfire, and then if we zoom in, we can see that the cam recoil gets pulled in and the weapon rotation gets hemmed in as well. So let's see how I did that. So if we expand our player capsule here, we have a camera holder, and that's actually where our first person script is. That's not a part of this tutorial, but I could show you guys that in another video if enough people want me to. Cam recoil. This is the first bit of coding magic. This is what gives our camera its little bob around. So I'll give you a quick example in play mode of how this works. So not the weapon itself, but the environment that the player is in. You can see it kind of bobbling around as I shoot. So if we turn both of these values down to 1, our rotation speed and our return speed, you'll see kind of how that, and I'll exaggerate these as well. Let's set them all to 15, and you'll see how the camera recoil is working. Why don't we give our return speed like 4 and our rotation speed like 8. Okay, so you could tweak this quite a bit. You could get something good for like a shotgun, and it always returns to the proper space afterwards. So close that out. I feel like that is a good demonstration. We'll open up the script. So inside of here, when I'm talking about the script, I'm going to ignore the headers and the spacers and just, the stuff that actually matters. So first things first, we have a public float rotation speed, and I've set that equal to 6. Then we have a public float return speed, and I've set that equal to 25. Then we have a public vector 3 recoil rotation, and I've set that to a new vector 3 of 2, 2, and 2. Next, a public vector 3 called recoil rotation aiming, which I've set to a new vector 3 of 0.5, 0.5, and 1.5. Then a public bool called aiming. Then a private vector 3 called current rotation, and a private vector 3 called rotation. That's all the variables. Feel free to, I'll zoom this out, and feel free to just pause it and copy it down yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to continue going through this. So, in the fixed update, which is the first function that we're going to be looking into, we have our current rotation, and we're setting that to be vector3.lerp from our current rotation to vector3.0. We're doing that by a return speed multiplied by time.delta time. Then we're creating a vector 3 called rotation, which we've declared up here. We're setting a rotation to vector3.slurp, or slurp, to our rotation, and we're sending our rotation to our current rotation, which is something that we're going to be setting up later. That's a variable. And then we're doing that by rotation speed multiplied by time.fixed delta time. Then we're going to take our transform.local rotation, and we're going to set it equal to that vector 3 that we just created called rot, which is short for rotation. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to hop into our function public void fire, where we're going to say if we're aiming, we're going to set the current rotation to be equal to the current rotation plus the new vector 3, where the x value is negative recoil rotation aiming.x. The y value is a random range between the negative recoil rotation aiming.y and the positive recoil rotation aiming.y. And the z value is a random range between the negative rotation aiming.z and, you guessed it, the recoil rotation aiming.z. So then we have an else, which basically says that if we're not aiming, we're going to set that same variable, the current rotation, to the current rotation plus a new vector 3, of the negative recoil, I don't know why I keep saying recoil, negative recoil rotation.x for the x value, and then for the y value, a random range of the negative rotation.y to the positive recoil rotation.y, and then for the z, a random range of the negative recoil rotation.z to the positive recoil rotation.z. So same idea as this above line, except for this one, we're using the aiming variable, and this one we're not. So down below in the update function, all we're doing is we're triggering our fire and our aiming Boolean, our function in Boolean. So we're going to say if input.getButton down fire 1, which in Unity is left click, then we are going to call our fire function. And then we're going to say if input.getButton fire 2, aiming equals true, else aiming equals false. And that sums up our camera recoil script. So we hit save on that, hop back in, and it's exactly how you would expect. So at this point of the video, if I turn off the weapon script, should be what you have. So if I click, oh, I've turned off the wrong thing, I guess. How did I manage that? Okay, so I'm going to turn off the weapon one, and I'm going to turn on the camera one. So it should look like this. Alright, now let's get into our weapon recoil script, which is right here. So before we do, actually, there's a couple things you have to do to set everything up. So as I was kind of showing before, we have our player capsule, sort of a classic FPS setup. So we have our capsule, a camera holder, our camera recoil object. Then we have our scene camera, our weapon camera, a weapon sway object, which is not necessary. I just included it just to kind of jazz up the preview a little bit. And then we've got our, this is where everything starts to matter for the weapon. So our recoil return point is really like, it's just I'll call it container. It's just the holder for the weapon. And then we have a weapon position, which is in the center of the weapon, and a rotation point, which is towards the rear of the weapon. So those things are important because you'll see our script here. We have a public recoil position, which is obviously this weapon position object, and then we have our rotation point, which is our rotation point object. So if we head into this script, I can show you how everything works. So we've got a public transform recoil position, and then we've got a public transform rotation point, just like I was just talking about. Then we've got a public float positional recoil speed, and then we've got a public float rotational recoil speed, then public float positional return speed, and public float rotational return speed. So you can kind of see it's following a similar pattern as the camera recoil. We have our like sort of kickback speed, and then we have our return speed. So the next variables are public vector 3 called recoil rotation, and a public vector 3 called recoil kickback. So this is rotational and positional offset, essentially. The next variables are public vector 3 called recoil rotation aim, and a public vector 3 called recoil kickback aim. So the same as the above, but these ones are for when you're aimed in. Next is a vector 3 called rotational recoil. You can set that as private or leave it without a word in front of it, and it'll automatically be set to private. So vector 3 rotational recoil, vector 3 positional recoil, vector 3 rot, short for rotation, and then a public bool aiming, just like the camera script. So next thing is the fixed update. We're going to set our rotational recoil equal to vector3.lerp from rotational recoil to vector3.0 by the rotation return speed multiplied by time.delta time. Then in the next line, we're going to take our positional recoil, and we're going to set it equal to vector3.lerp from our positional recoil to vector3.0 by our positional return speed multiplied by time.delta time. Next, we're going to take our recoil position.local position, which is the object we had centered at the middle of our gun, and we're going to set that equal to vector3.slurp or slurp or smooth internal linear blah blah blah, whatever it's called. I think I just had an aneurysm. And we're going to move from our recoil position.local position to our positional recoil by our positional recoil speed multiplied by time.fixed delta time. Next, we're going to set our vector 3 of rot. We're going to make it equal to vector3.slurp rotation to our rotation recoil by rotational recoil speed multiplied by time.fixed delta time. Next, we're going to set rotation point.local rotation equal to quaternion.euler rot. This is actually pronounced Euler. but it's spelled Euler, and I just want everyone to not be confused. So quaternion.euler-rot. Next, void update. This is an exact copy and paste from the previous one. We're calling fire when we do left click, and we're calling aiming when we click right click. Go ahead and copy that down if you don't remember, or just copy and paste it from the other script. That works too. In public void fire, we have if aiming, and we're setting two things this time because we're not just doing rotation, we're doing position as well. So we're setting rotational recoil to equal rotational recoil plus the new vector 3, where the x value is the negative recoil rotation aim dot x, the y value is the random range from the negative recoil rotation aim dot y to the positive recoil rotation aim dot y, and the z value is the random range from the negative recoil rotation aim dot z to the positive recoil rotation aim dot z. For the positional recoil, we're going to set that equal to a new vector 3, we're going to set positional recoil to positional recoil plus new vector 3, where the x value is a random range between the negative recoil kickback aim dot x and recoil kickback aim x positive. I think I might have said negative, but it's from the negative to the positive, and it's the same variable. The y value is a random range from the negative recoil kickback aim dot y to the positive recoil kickback aim dot y. And our z value is simply recoil kickback aim dot z. The else is to tell us what's going to happen if we're not aiming. And it's just like the camera script. It's going to do all the same things, except for this time we're not using the aiming variable. We're just using the regular variable. So go ahead and copy that down. And then what you should have is basically this effect here that I've shown a few times already. I think it's a really good effect. I'll change some settings in the gun script right now so you can kind of see how it works. Again, if we set our speeds very low, hang on, that's rotational, so we'll set our positional ones very low. You can see it kicking around wildly in the slow motion, which is kind of entertaining. I really like to set the rotational one a little bit faster, so we'll do like that, and then we'll set the positional ones a little bit slower. Gives you a nice exaggerated kind of look at how it would work. That's insane if you set it that high. Typically the faster you set these values, the less exaggerated the effect looks. And as you get higher and higher, it's sharper and jitterier, but the values that I've set by default work really well. I think it looks really nice. Of course, feel free to mess with these yourself, slow them down, get whatever effect you're looking for. And some weapons, like I'm thinking like the UMP from Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like when you're aimed in, you're probably not wanting much of the rotation happening. I think they probably had like a little tiny bit of kickback and like side to side, something like that, but even less side to side, maybe. Oh man, like that thing had no recoil. Like I know you guys you might not even know what I'm talking about, but let's see here. That's kind of what it was like. So this is like submachine gun, so pretty heavy recoil when you're hip firing, and then pretty much a laser when you're zoomed in. So yep, that's the script. I hope you enjoyed. Everything will be downloadable in the description via my Patreon. Please support me if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. Everything is available to be learned, and that is free of charge, my friends. Thank you. Subscribe, throw down a like, do whatever you need to do, or don't. It doesn't matter to me, but thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, hopefully.